We love steak, pork chops, and sausages. But should we worry about meat causing cancer?
Part of the argument was that nitrates were a big culprit. Yeah. Explain what the issue is there.
Plus, the truth about all natural labels. What does it really mean? And are they misleading shoppers looking for healthy alternatives? We break it all down in our Food Truth series.
Walk us through what we can learn from these different labels that are now out there.
Coming up next.
We'll save lives today.
You guys ready to get healthy?
Food Truth Wednesday, and we are starting by setting the record straight on meat. Now, meat is the centerpiece of the American diet. Last year alone, you all spent $185 billion on it. And that's why the recent headlines that meat causes cancer are so alarming for you and for me. So today, we're going to start with a Dr. Oz investigation. Food journalist Mark Schatzker, one of my core team members, looks beyond the headlines to get the bottom line on meat. Then, the truth about the all-natural label. What does it really mean? Are they misleading shoppers looking for healthy alternatives? And we got a hungry girl here. She's got lots of tricks to triple the size of your snack without tripling the amount of calories. But first, earlier this year, you all remember, the World Health Organization declared processed meats can cause cancer, and that red meat is a probable cancer cause. Mark Schatzker was not convinced. So I sent him on a fact-finding mission to find out, does meat cause cancer?
Steak, pork chops, sausages, meat. We love it, we crave it, and we always have. Some Stone Age humans ate up to 3.5 pounds of meat every day. They even painted pictures of cows on cave walls. Meat is more American than apple pie, which is what you have for dessert after you've eaten meat. I'll take 3 of your best ribeyes, please. And who eats around 75 pounds of red meat a year, this sounds like bad news. Are we all gonna die? If you believe the headlines, you might wonder, but let's look beyond the headlines. In its report, the WHO classifies red meat as probably carcinogenic. That sounds bad, but probably doesn't mean definitely. And most researchers agree your level of risk depends on how much you eat. I will take those ribeyes, but I don't eat like this every day. Now, when it comes to processed meat, the news really does look bad. The WHO classifies processed meat as carcinogenic, causing cancer. Hot dogs are in the same category as, you guessed it, cigarettes and plutonium. Can I get some plutonium on that? But what does processed mean? Is this processed? I'm pretty sure this is. Let's find out. We're at Schaller & Weber, where meat goes from being fresh to processed. So Jeremy, your family's been processing meat for 3 generations. What is processed meat?
So essentially, processed meat is a way of enhancing the flavor and also preserving the meat to make different styles of meat, which we call charcuterie, which is basically a term that covers sausages, cold cuts, pâtés, and salamis.
So what is the process that it goes through?
So we'll always take different cuts of fresh meat, cut them up, then either for sausages, we'll usually grind them, and we'll add spices and seasonings. Then we'll take it and put it into a casing, and then we'll smoke it and cook the meat.
What about a hot dog?
Or for hot dogs, we'll put them into an emulsification, which is a really fine cut, and then we'll put them into a natural casing stuffing, and then we'll smoke them and cook them. So basically what you're doing to preserve it is you have to cure it, you have to salt it, you have to smoke it, or you can ferment it.
Tell me about nitrates, because that's something a lot of people are concerned about.
Well, nitrates are something that have been used as far back as the Romans to preserve meats. It's basically giving the meat more shelf life.
Since we have refrigeration, we don't really need to preserve meat, yet we still love processed meat. Why do you think that is?
Well, the bottom line is it just tastes great. And these are really authentic styles that people came over from Europe with, and we keep that same level of quality.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
So that's what processing meat is all about. Now, the WHO report definitely raises concerns. The question is, how much should we worry?
Mark Schatzker is here without his hot dog. You're all worked up about this World Health Organization idea. You're disagreeing with it pretty aggressively.
I think problems with headlines like this, and a lot of it is the headlines, is it causes fear. It sends people into a panic. And I think it feeds the idea that there's one evil thing out there in the food environment, and if I stop eating this, everything's going to be okay. What we need to understand is that risks are additive. So we need to understand all these food choices in the context of a whole diet.
But just to be clear, the headline was pretty provocative. The World Health Organization concluded that there was an 18% increase in colorectal cancer when people ate a lot of these processed meats.
That does sound scary, but we need to understand it. So when people hear 18%, they think I have an 18% chance of getting colorectal cancer if I eat processed meat. It's an 18% increase in risk. So let's think of it in the context of this audience. There's about 200 people here. So if everybody in the audience ate a little bit of processed meat over the course of their entire lives, about 5% would develop colorectal cancer. So that's 10 people in this audience of 200. Now, if they ate a lot of processed meat, the risk goes up 18%. So that moves it from 10 people to 12 people. So that's 2 more people. Now, compare it to smoking. Smokers have a 25 times greater risk of developing lung cancer than non-smoker.
Is that right? 25 times?
25 times. So compared to smoking, eating processed meat just isn't all that risky.
Part of the argument that was made was that nitrates were a big culprit.
Yeah.
Explain what the issue is there.
Nitrates. We have been using nitrates in one form or another for thousands of years to cure meat. It's particularly good at preventing botulism, which is caused by a deadly bacteria. The concern is that nitrates could be carcinogenic. But the big question is, what is the effect of people consuming small amounts of nitrates over a long period of time? That's a really hard question for scientists to answer. Now, as the WHO report notes, people who eat processed meat seem to have a slightly increased chance for developing colorectal cancer. Is that because of the nitrates? Is it because of something else? We just don't know.
But there's a lot of these, and I've been telling people this, they say no nitrates added, or they use celery juice.
Yes.
Are those better?
I don't think so. Celery is naturally high in nitrates. So if you make a celery extract, you can use that to cure meat. But a nitrate's a nitrate, no matter where it comes from. So at this point, I don't think we have any evidence that tells us that the nitrates from celery are better.
So I got to say, I think you're absolutely right in that we're probably overreacting. Then again, if it's 2 out of the people in this audience getting cancer or not getting cancer, to me, that's still meaningful.
I agree.
So I have to say that processed meats are an issue. There's no need for us to get them because there are better ways of getting it. But you come join me. Let's show folks how they probably should get their meat if they're going to eat meat. And I get that they taste better. You have those sausage links in that little package. Did you buy stuff there, by the way? I bet you did.
I did.
I knew you would.
But here's what I would say. We all love meat. It is healthy. Great source of vitamin B12. Great source of protein. Use the deliciousness of meat as a way to eat food that we know is healthy. So make a lentil and kale soup and add a little bit of ham to make it delicious. Or instead of putting a sausage on a bun, put a little bit of chorizo sausage in a pot of steamed clams. Then you're using a little bit of sausage to eat something that we know is healthy, seafood.
And if you're going to buy regular meat, please just buy lean cuts. Not about cancer. It's actually better for your heart, I think. Look for the word loin. So, pork tenderloin, sirloin, top sirloin, lamb loin. Look for the word loin or round. Round steaks, round roasts, eye rounds, bottom rounds, all those fine. And if you choose to have something that's like a ground beef, get 95% lean. Why not? If you buy those little hamburger patties they sell, those frozen burger patties, they're often 50% fat. So why would you put yourself through that? Spend the time to actually get what you're knowing is better for you and don't take any chances. I appreciate your investigation. You didn't bring any of that stuff back for me.
I ate it all.
So angry. When we come back, why you may be exposing your family to superbugs. Find out how when we come back.
Next, the common use of antibiotics in the meat and poultry industry may be causing the spread of superbugs in your food. Consumer Reports revealed their findings. What you need to know the next time you shop for meat in the supermarket. Next. Confessions and secrets on an all-new Oz.
I had a lot of guilt, a lot of shame in what I was doing.
The double life of a high-functioning alcoholic.
I didn't want anybody to know what I had turned into.
Plus, she went from 200 pounds to 100.
I must say, on the outside, it looks like a weight loss success story.
The shocking truth no one expected.
What was your secret?
All new Oz.
That's coming up tomorrow. wants you to know 20% of people who come down with an antibiotic-resistant bug like this don't pick it up in the hospital or from another person. They get it from food. That's thanks to widespread use of antibiotics in the meat and poultry industries. Now, Consumer Reports is so alarmed, they spent 3 full years studying superbugs in your supermarket food. Today, what they found out, and how you can protect yourself and your family. But first, let me show you how antibiotic-resistant superbugs get into your food in the first place. We start with healthy animals, right? They're being raised for food. We've got cows and chickens, and there's a pig at the back there, right? They're routinely given antibiotics in their food or water to prevent disease and to promote faster growth. The bacteria are already in the animal's gut, so they react with the antibiotics. Some are killed. In fact, most of them might be killed. But the few that survive might become superbugs. They're resistant to the antibiotics. Once the animals excrete these resistant superbugs in their manure, right, the bugs in their manure get into the soil, the water, the air, even onto farm workers, who then contaminate the meat while they're processing it. And then that meat is sold in supermarkets, and sometimes it may contain superbugs that infect you. Dr. Urvashi Rangan, the executive director of the Consumer Reports Food Safety and Sustainability Center, is here. 3 years is a long time. A lot of focus. What did you find about what's in our supermarkets?
Well, we've taken a look at a lot of different meats over the last 3 years, and we found superbugs in almost every single test we did. We also found there were differences in meat that were raised with antibiotics and meat that was not raised with any antibiotics. And there are differences in safety and health there.
So break it down for us. Specifically, how much did you find in the beef, how much in poultry, et cetera?
So in the beef, we found about 14% overall of the beef had multi-drug resistant bacteria. What was really interesting is there was a big difference. In the conventional pool where we know antibiotics are used, 18% of the samples had multi-drug resistant bugs compared to 9% in the no antibiotic
Twice as
samples.
much.
Twice as much. 3 times as much as grass-fed meat. So that sort of suggests the more sustainable we're actually raising these animals, the healthier they are, the better farm management practices we have on the farm, the better off our meat is, even without raising with antibiotics.
And how about for chickens, for poultry?
Well, for poultry, it's a little bit higher, actually. We saw rates of about 57%.
50, more than half?
About more than half had multi-drug resistant bugs of the samples. And again, you see differences between the conventional and the no antibiotic samples. They're not quite as great as they are for beef, but we still see statistically significant
And how about
differences.
for turkey, for example?
Turkey, about 83% of the samples had superbugs in them, which is astonishingly high.
These are really high figures. If more than half of the chickens, let's pick on them for a second, have resistant bacteria, and that's very, what's the FDA, what's the government saying about this?
Well, you know, the government started to take baby steps in this direction, and they've basically said, okay, we're going to provide some guidance to the industry that says, we don't want you to use antibiotics important in human medicine for growth promotion. And if you're going to use it for anything else, then you need to get a vet to write the prescription. It all sounds very good, but there's big loopholes in that, and that is that producers can continue to do the same thing they're doing, that is feed low levels of antibiotics to healthy animals every single day and call it disease prevention. So without good farm management practices, without a comprehensive food safety system, taking antibiotics out for growth promotion isn't really the whole equation.
Just to be clear, just so you understand what that means, the antibiotics can be used so the animals get bigger faster so they can make more money on them. There's not a health benefit, and that's a little bit alarming to me. So we contacted the FDA. Here's what they said in part. The agency is moving to eliminate the use of such drugs for production purposes. For example, growth promotion, like I mentioned, and feed efficiency. So they basically agreed with you, which is a real coup for you.
It is. It's good. It's halfway there, sort of one foot in the door for growth promotion. But the thing is, disease prevention is also managed through drug use every day. It shouldn't be, but it is. And the FDA really isn't doing very much about that use.
So what does the average family watching right now do?
Well, there are things that you can do in the short term while we're trying to get these better government policy changes in, and that is shop for better beef, basically. So we did a couple of things. We've given people the labels to look for. You should assume if it doesn't have a label, it was likely produced from animals who were fed antibiotics routinely. That said, labels like no antibiotics, along with a USDA process verified shield, or the organic label are good options. We also rated companies. There's a number of different companies and fast food chains who are making pledges to reduce antibiotic use. So we've provided consumers with an analysis of exactly what drugs they're prohibiting and other drugs besides antibiotics as well.
So we're going to find, if you don't mind, if you go to our DrOz.com site, you're going to see a list of these labels. Dr. Vashi is going to stay with us with the bottom line on what the all-natural label really means. We're right back.
Next, it's the buzzword stamp on everything from cereal to cookies. Labels that claim to be all natural. And is it misleading? Find out why the FDA is cracking down on natural foods and what you should look for the next time you shop.
Natural, all natural, 100% natural, made with natural ingredients. These buzzwords are labeled on everything from cereals to cookies. Cheese doodles have these labels. But do consumers really know what natural means? Dr. Vashi Rangan from Consumer Reports is back with their report on natural labels. Now, just to be clear, although the FDA does not have a formal definition, it has considered the term natural to mean, and look at this carefully, nothing artificial or synthetic. So why is there confusion?
Well, first of all, that's what they say, but that's not what they do. And that isn't a binding piece of guidance on there. And we know there are artificial colors in foods already. But natural needs to mean even more than that for consumers. We know that from our survey findings, that they expect things like not just no artificial ingredients, but no pesticides, no growth hormones, no drugs on a daily basis. It deals with production practices as well as the fact that there might not be any artificial ingredients.
Let me share your survey data. So Consumer Reports found that 60% of you look for the term natural when you shop. And more than 80% of consumers believe natural should mean no artificial ingredients, no pesticides, no GMOs, just like Vashi said. So consumers have a clear expectation when they see that word natural. Are they being deceived?
They are being deceived. And in fact, there have been dozens of court cases on this very issue of class action suits being brought because the natural label is so misleading. And when some of the courts have actually asked the Food and Drug Administration if they would define this, they actually said, we would not like to define it. And so it's been a big problem, and it's been a campaign of ours to really petition the government to do something about this to prevent the misleading uses of this label.
I'm sort of surprised you wouldn't define something so widespread.
Yeah.
So what should consumers do? What should we do with the word natural?
Well, we have a petition in right now to say, look, there's two ways you can prevent the misleading uses. You can ban this term altogether on the market, and that would be fine. Consumers wouldn't be any the worse off. Or you can set the bar so high that it can't possibly mislead consumers. For processed foods in the FDA, we think if you set that at 100% organic or organic plus no artificial ingredients, you get pretty close to meeting consumer expectations.
So where does this leave consumers? Come on back. If consumers can't trust the word natural on their labels, we have to give them alternatives. So you've done some homework on this. I appreciate this. Walk us through sort of generally what we can learn from these different labels that are now out there.
Yeah, so I mean, basically you're looking for environmental sustainability, you're looking for animal welfare, you're also looking for worker welfare. These two labels here, organic and certified naturally grown, they're dealing with the environment, they're dealing with pesticide use, making sure that the soil is cared for, that we're not putting a lot of inputs onto the farm. Fair for Life and Food Justice Certified are worker welfare labels, and they're labels in this country which are really interesting. They're looking at the workers producing our foods on these farms, making sure they're given fair wages, but also making sure they're not exposed to lots of pesticides in the process.
Because we will too, ultimately, if they
Ultimately, we've learned the health effects of pesticides from them. And finally, animal welfare labels. So this talks a little bit about how animals were raised, what they ate, did they get to go outside? These are things that people think of when they think of a natural meat.
So here's the big opportunity, everybody. The FDA is asking the public what you think about these natural words on labels. What should it mean? So there's some questions that we're asking, the FDA is actually asking us to identify.
That's right. They're basically asking us for our input and our opinion on what we think it means. And everybody should take note of that and make comment to the FDA. We'll also have a petition on our website for people to sign. But basically, this is our opportunity to tell the FDA we don't need misleading labels. We don't need something like that where 60% of people are being misled to think that label means more than it does. And we want them to do something about it.
So put all the links on DrOz.com so it makes it easy for you to weigh in with the FDA. Vashi, thank you very much.
Thank
Love
you so
having
much,
you here.
Dr. Oz.
Be right back.
Next, Hungry Girl's Lillian shares her 10 power protein meals to help you lose weight. start burning calories the moment you eat them. And they keep you full for hours. Delicious protein-packed recipes, perfect for the day-off diet plan. Confessions and secrets on an all-new Oz.
I had a lot of guilt, a lot of shame in what I was doing.
The double life of a high-functioning alcoholic. All new Oz. That's coming up tomorrow.
Protein, now the moment it leaves your fork, it starts burning calories and keeps you full for hours. And that's why a huge element of our day-off diet when we launched it this month was to make sure you ate a lot of high protein at every meal. Today, to help us create 10 power protein meals is hungry girl Lisa Lillian. These meals are going to work for anybody trying to lose weight. What is the key, your little secret for packing protein into our snacks?
You know, I like to get meals together that have a lot of bang for your calorie buck. So I like to use protein that's lean, so you can use it creatively and add a lot of great stuff and have big portions.
All right, so lead us through it. We're going to go through 10. We're going to start off with making over a very bland protein people are always complaining about, which is chicken.
I mean, everybody loves chicken. It's everyone's go-to meal, but I like to be a little creative with it. And in front of me, I have faux fried chicken strips. We all love
Faux fried.
Faux fried.
The tongue twister.
Which means it's fried, but not really fried. They're baked, and instead of being coated with lots of oil and breadcrumbs, I use high-fiber breakfast cereal. So right there, these little like breakfast high-fiber twigs. You just put them in a coffee grinder.
What's this?
Oh, that's just spices. Because sometimes it's a little sweet because it's breakfast cereal, so you spice it up with whatever you like, onion powder, garlic powder, cayenne. And watch this.
Magically ground.
Magically turned into little crumbs like that, and you use that to coat your chicken.
It looks like.
And you bake it instead of frying it.
It tastes fried.
It tastes like fried chicken. It pleases everyone. Now, this whole plate, by the way, has 350 calories, so that's a pretty great calorie bar.
And most of those calories are protein calories.
Yep.
You also have a little trick for how to plate it out to save us some time?
Well, I am also like pretty lazy in the kitchen, and I don't like to clean up, believe it or not. I'm sure that you guys can relate. So, like, who needs to use a skillet? I know, someone's clapping. Who likes being messy in the kitchen? So I make foil packs, and this is a sweet potato chicken foil pack. So in here, there's some chicken and sweet potatoes and lots of veggies. And you take 2 sheets of heavy-duty foil and just put the chicken in there. And then you seal it up tightly. You can help me.
I'll help.
If you're feeling hopeful.
I'm a good folder.
You are. You're a great
always
folder.
helpful.
Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
I've been scarred my whole life being told I couldn't fold.
Well, I'm here to fix that. Okay, you just throw this in the oven for about 20 or 25 minutes, and you're done.
And this comes out.
That's what comes out. And just be careful when you slice it open because it gets a little steamy. And you just toss that out. You don't have to clean it.
One of the things I love about you is you take foods that we love and you find ways of allowing a hungry girl to enjoy them. So this is about boosting a carb with lots of protein.
Yes. Well, first of all, I love breakfast for dinner, and anytime I can get a high protein breakfast and eat it for dinner, that's a home run for me. And this recipe is a little special because I use protein powder in it. Now, a lot of people think protein powder is just for smoothies or it's not for them, but it's actually a great food to cook with. So this is a peanut butter and jelly French toast.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's really berries and peanut butter with high fiber bread, and we use the protein powder in with the egg wash to really boost the protein. There's over 25 grams of protein in this, and it tastes great. It's a great breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Yeah, I would have it for dinner. Usually I wouldn't for breakfast foods. So it's a smart idea.
I make crepes with it too. You just add some protein powder to egg whites, and you can do a lot with it.
What are the rules you have for protein powder in general? To make sure, because otherwise we muck it up.
I mean, the only rule is really to make sure it dissolves. You don't want to sprinkle the powder on your food. That's a little creepy and weird. But if it melts and you can use it when you're cooking, that's it. It's a home run. And there's flavors. This is vanilla, so it bulks it up. It's a little sweet. It tastes good. So.
And finally, thinking of bulking up, you like to bulk up your burgers. Walk us through these 2 high-protein burgers.
Okay, well, starting with, this is a turkey burger on a lettuce bun. And now, a lot of times I like to save carbs and use my calories for the more exciting part of the meal. So instead of using a very carby bread bun, I use lettuce leaves. And then this is a lean ground turkey, which I find is a little tastier than an extra lean ground turkey. And a side of beans to bulk up the protein. That's a fantastic meal, again, less than 350 calories.
It's like a Leaning Tower pizza.
That's exactly what it is. This is my...
Is that what it's called?
No.
Oh,
no, but I think we should rename it.
Why not? Hungry Girl, Leaning Tower Pizza.
So the burgers in here are meatless. So they're meatless like soy patties, or you can use whatever meatless burger you like, and you get a lot of bang for your calorie buck. But every other layer is a big, fat slice of eggplant, so you get a gigantic portion. And then the tomato sauce I use is canned crushed tomatoes, which is a great way to get tomato sauce flavor and save sodium. So you can spice that up yourself. And it's a magical ingredient that I use all the time. And look at the size of that. This is less than 300 calories for that whole plate.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
You're gonna stick around.
I am.
You can find these recipes and 5 more of Hungry Girl's high-protein meals, along with a full day-off diet plan on DrOz.com. More with Lisa when we come back. She's gonna change the way you snack. Don't miss it.
Coming up next, the Hungry Girl shows you how you can triple the size of your snacks without tripling your calories.
They have about 50 calories each. You get a huge serving for 100 calories.
Delicious and easy to make recipes to help you lose the weight. Next.
This month we launched the Day Off Diet. Now on this diet, you're allowed and encouraged to eat unlimited non-starchy vegetables. This trick can help anybody lose weight, including Paris, who is joining us. She's been on a diet, the Day Off diet, for 8 weeks. She's lost 9 pounds and 1 dress size. So besides those numbers, what kinds of success are you having with this? Oh, look at that picture.
Yes,
Whoa.
God, yes.
No more of that.
No more of that. The biggest success is when I actually got started with this. You know, I haven't had an opportunity to be able to go to the gym. I just can't go. So the biggest success actually is being able to eat to lose the weight. I'm eating and I'm losing the weight, and since I haven't been able to go to the gym, I don't have to go to the gym to lose the weight.
Yeah, sure, with you. People have this mistaken notion about exercise. The way to lose weight is to eat better.
Yeah.
The way to keep your weight down is to exercise.
Absolutely.
So you're going to do them both eventually, but I think you're absolutely on target. Start with the food part. So a big part of a weight loss journey is making sure you got a community around you. You've got one.
Oh,
You've got
yeah.
this big Facebook group. I'm going to give you one of the quotes from Sarah. She's part of that group. And she posted, does anyone have any recipe ideas or suggestions on how to make the unlimited veggies into filling snacks? That's what she wants to know. I understand it's a question for you as well.
Yeah.
So come at me with this. We got Lisa Lillian
Come on,
here,
let's
the
go.
Hungry Girl. She's going to show you. Her promise is clear. She's going to triple the size of our snacks without tripling the calories using these vegetables. Is that possible?
It is so possible. Congratulations.
First of all, hey, Ms.
You look
Lisa, how
great.
you doing, girl?
I'm good.
You look good.
So were you shocked when I first told you can have unlimited vegetables in this program?
You know, I wasn't really shocked. I was excited because I love to do creative things with produce and turn them into snacky type food. So it's the perfect job for me.
All right, triple the size, but don't triple the calories. Take it away.
Okay. First up, we have beet chips. They match your hair.
Okay.
That's not the only
I wasn't
reason
going to comment on your hair, by the way. Yes,
I love your hair.
I do love it.
I love it. It looks great on you. This is a mandolin. This is what you need to make the beet chips. It's not so scary, but your hands are going to be pink, so we're just going to use the beets that we have already sliced here. Okay. But you slice them thinly, and you put them on a little cookie sheet sprayed with nonstick spray. You can help me lay them out a little bit. And then you bake these for about an hour and a half at 250, so it's low and slow. And then this is what you get. Now, here's the deal. Beets, I don't know if you know this, nature's aphrodisiac. Did you
Beets
guys
are?
know that? Beets are. They're nature's
Pass those
Viagra.
over here.
Here you go. Dig in, Dr. Oz.
Aphrodisiacs. Yes.
Pass these some of my husband.
Take them home. We'll wrap
Is
them up.
Paris's husband here? We're going to find her. I'm going to give you, take a couple extras for him.
These are
So
good.
they're only about 35 calories a beet. You get a huge serving size for 100 calories. They taste great, and they're so easy.
They're great. They're actually really good.
You can actually turn lots of different veggies into chips. Zucchini, turnips, they
You
all
made a
work.
lot of food in the show. This is one of the best things you ever made.
That's actually
I'm
good.
glad
It's got
you
the
like
right
it.
texture, the right taste, the right tartness. All right.
One of
Next,
my favorites.
we got hash browns that are made from spaghetti squash.
Spaghetti squash hash browns. Now, do you work with spaghetti squash? One of the best and most exciting MVPs in my kitchen. A lot of people are scared of these, but they are easy to use. You just bake them, you soften them, you can make them in the microwave, and then you just take the seeds out, and then when you scrape, this is what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that. It's like a spaghetti-like texture. So you can use it as a pasta substitute. We're making hash browns today. So this is 1/2 of a whole squash, some chopped onion, little garlic, some spices. Maybe you want to do a little of the mixing, Paris? What do you think?
Yeah,
Mix it up,
please.
Paris.
Mix
Practice
that up.
makes
That's
perfect.
what
Mix it
I
up.
do. You know,
Mix
people doing all
it, yeah.
types of cooking. Let me mix that all up for you.
Okay, and then it's so easy. There's like hardly anything to
How long do you
this.
cook it for?
Just like 4 minutes, 2 minutes on each side in the skillet on a high heat. and you throw it in. If you want to throw it on the skillet, you can hear a nice sizzle. That's beautiful.
Paris.
And that's the
Forget about that, Paris. I made it for you already.
You made it already?
While you were fooling around backstage, you can put it in the pan. While you're worried about your husband eating beets over there, I was making spaghetti squash for you.
That's all right.
Is this an aphrodisiac also?
It has not been proven, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Come over. Next, we got turnip fries over here. Now, turnip fries, most pigs are talking about intimidation. This is a big example of it.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to make you cut them now because you said that.
Paris, why don't you cut them, Paris?
All right.
Okay.
So here's the deal. Turnips, again.
This one right here?
Yep, there it is. Just
don't cut your hand, please.
Be careful. You can chunk it and then slice it and put it in little French fry shapes any way you like. But turnips are fantastic. They have about 50 calories each. You get a huge serving for 100 calories. You just bake them at 425 for
pass them over
10, 15 minutes.
You ketchup, or what do you put on them?
You put ketchup on them. I don't think I have any dipping sauce here. But they taste like fries. My favorite thing to do is...
I was trying to drop it in.
No, not that.
I turn everything into fries. Carrots. These are phenomenal.
I like them a lot.
Yeah.
They taste like...
Yeah.
They taste like potato fries that just weren't cooked too much.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
I'm sorry, how long do you cook them for again?
They go at 425 for about 10 or 15 minutes in total.
Okay, what do you have over there?
Over here, we have super soup. Now look at this soup. I am a soup maniac because soup to me is the world's best snack. And studies show that people who actually snack on soup or start their meals with broth-based soup take in about 25% fewer calories throughout the day.
I do. I'm a soup person, so.
You're gonna there'll be none of you left in a month.
You will disappear, girl.
That's what I'm working on.
2 cups for 100 calories. So you see that? And it's loaded with veggies. It's easy to make.
Wait, say that again?
2 cups of this soup for 100 calories.
She better get her life. I can't believe she just said that. 200 calories?
For 100 calories, 2 cups.
And how big is that bowl?
This is 2 full cups, and it's loaded with veggies.
Take the whole
low
back.
sodium broth.
I just want the
It's
whole
phenomenal.
thing.
Taste it, see if you like it. If you don't like it, you're not gonna eat it. So if you like this, compare this to those beets over there. Your husband's gonna be eating tonight.
Listen, he might not eat the beets. I'm gonna eat the beets. I'll get them.
I think he'll be eating the beets as well, what you got.
Good stuff.
So to make it all easier for you, you're gonna find all these supersized snacks on DrOz.com, and you can even find more of them in Lisa's book, The Hungry Girl Diet Cookbook, superbly done like everything she does. And everybody in the audience is going home with a copy. So you can make it at home. Remember, it's not too late to get on the Day Off Diet. We'll be right back. The Day Off Diet! Next, a new app that can predict your mood, cut your stress, and improve your relationships, all by reading your voice. Get a better insight into what someone is really saying to you, and see how using this innovative device can help lower your stress level. Confessions and secrets on an all-new Oz.
I had a lot of guilt, a lot of shame in what I was doing.
The double life of a high-functioning alcoholic. All new Oz. That's coming up tomorrow.
You ever hear or say this in a fight? It's not what you said, it's how you said it. Yes. Yeah, we use that, comes in handy. It's because tone is incredibly important to communication. And now, science is unlocking the subtleties in your voice for the very first time. There's a new free app from our trusted partner in health, ShareCare. It can not only help you accurately reveal your mood, but it's also, in this recent trial that's just been completed, telling us how we can cut our stress and improve our relationships, all by reading your voice.
A new app can help transform your phone from something that stresses you out
I asked you to be here 15 minutes ago.
to a tool for self-awareness and healing.
So happy that worked out like that.
So basically, the app analyzes your voice when you're talking on the phone, and then it tells you how stressed you are based on the tone of your voice.
Margaret is a ShareCare employee and has used the app, which works on Android phones, for about 10 months.
It's definitely given me great insight into my conversations and my tone of voice, so I've made changes in how I speak to people because of that.
The app has been in development for over 2 years and has been tested on 6,000 subjects who used the app for 6 months. Here's how it works. New technology picks up stress patterns in your voice, called fractals, correlated to stress signals in your brain. Then, all that information is analyzed and reveals the intensity of your emotions, type of stress, and your internal emotional response: freeze, flight, or fight. I asked a few viewers to try out the app.
It's amazing how accurate it is. See, last call with my fiance, impatient. Very correct.
The app has made me realize that a lot of my calls are reading as irritated, and it's something that I honestly have to work on.
And in the past few months, this app has been used to find out not just what the presidential candidates are saying, but what they're feeling. When Jeb Bush lashed out at Donald Trump at the most recent Republican debate, the app picked up that his stress level was intense.
And he gets his foreign policy experience from the shows.
But when Trump counterattacked, the app showed he was surprisingly calm and comfortable.
Am I talking or are you talking, Jeb?
Literally in his comfort zone.
You're not
I'm
talking.
talking.
You interrupted me.
Yeah.
So, how would the app read you?
So research shows that stress levels can decrease in 3 weeks while using the app. So I had a few of my viewers try it out. Tiffany's joining us. So what did you learn about your stress levels with the app?
I learned that a lot of times that I am reading as I'm irritated and that I'm impatient. And I learned actually that I wasn't quite aware of that. I know my husband said, Tiffany, you're so intense. And I'm like, I'm not intense, I'm passionate, you know?
And be quiet, never say that again.
You know?
So show me some examples here.
Right, this right here, I had made a call with my husband. And actually, this was a business call that had nothing to do with him. And I was aggravated with the third party. And it says that I appeared uneasy, I was impatient.
Yep.
And he's my favorite person. This is not what, I didn't want to project that onto him, so it was misdirected.
Yeah, but I love this because your words may not have made it seem like you're irritated, but he was reading in your voice something else.
Right.
And Jenny, what did you notice about your calls?
Well, I noticed that I am very impatient and very uneasy.
Who are you talking to there? A lot of yellow.
Yellow. That's my fiance, Angel. And at this moment, we were having a family crisis. And all I wanted to do was just, okay, shut up, get off the phone, and let's take care of it.
So the part about this that always catches me off guard, was it spot on in describing what you were feeling?
Definitely. It was very spot on. And when you have it in black and white, it's like, it makes you aware, you know? So, hey, I have to change something, and I am very impatient. I need help, people.
And Amanda, how about you? What you notice about your moods with the app?
I found the app to be very accurate. After my phone calls from home, it was reporting that I was irritated and uneasy. And at first I was surprised by this, but when I thought about it, it's been finals week. I've been super stressed out, and this is reflected in my tone.
Yep.
So this app has truly helped me to recognize my tone and what I'm feeling, and so that when I make future phone calls, I can take this into consideration and really think about my audience and how I'm speaking to them.
It's uncanny that it's able to so accurately peg us. My whole staff is sort of mesmerized by it as well. A couple of facts, by the way, we've noticed in this trial. Women increase stress during the week compared to the weekend. Men have more stress on the weekends. In fact, by Sunday, men have 160% more stress than women. Think about that. And so we're learning a lot about how gender is different, but most importantly, we're learning we can change our future. Now, it can also give us great insight in some of the trickiest people to read, who are politicians. You're going to enjoy this. Eric Feingold is joining us. Eric is from ShareCare. He's got some insights that will come in handy for the next series of debates that are happening. Remember, the Republicans and Democrats are debating this week. One of the loudest voices during the campaign on the Republican side has been Donald Trump. So what can you tell us about what his voice is telling us? Not his words. What is his voice telling us about what's going on inside of him?
Right. So what we saw is that when it comes to stress, Trump is a real outlier. So when you look at most people, they will be usually in the red, in the orange, or in the yellow when they attack other people or being attacked. Trump manages to stay in the green, even at times of high pressure for longer periods of time.
So low stress, even though he's doing something that most of us would be uncomfortable doing.
Absolutely, yes. So when it changes is at specific times when he perceives something as a threat. So in this case, when he was discussing ISIS and their abuse of how they use the internet, and the other time that he gets out of his element is when he's being interrupted, or when he sees a behavior that he sees as disrespectful. But that's only as a short burst, and then he goes quickly back to being in the green.
And I noticed, by the way, when he gets intense, it's irritation intense, which is a fighting type of response. I only point that out because we're learning a lot about how people's first instinctual responses might happen. Now, go to the other side of the aisle. How about Hillary? How's she doing when she says things?
Right. So Hillary is a very interesting case as well. Her stress profile is more I would say, diverse than Trump's. But as you can see here, this is her response to difficult questions that were raised in a recent debate about emails, and she's in the orange. And
she's feeling discomfort, which is a freeze, as opposed to Donald wanting to fight. She's wanting to just freeze.
Exactly. But what's so interesting here is that she seems to be really aware of it, and she seems to be using a technique how to control her stress. And you can see in the same segment, she was able to move from the orange into the green. Actually, she moved into a very interesting zone of the green. That's the productive zone. And so there is still anxiety, there is still flight, but it's the productive zone. And when you want to get things done, this is the right place to be. So stress is not good or bad. If you have it in the productive zone, you can actually use it for your benefit.
Eric, thank you very much. This is wonderful advice. We're going to compare the rest of the candidates' voices with and their stress types on DrOz.com. You can check out ShareCare's analysis for the next series of debates. If you have an Android phone, it's free. Download the app. The ShareCare app looks like this. Share it with your friends, test it out, and let us know what you think. I think you'll find that it's as uncannily accurate as we have as well. Be right back.
Transform stress and anxiety into strength.
I asked 2 world experts to come help us.
The plan to reclaim your personal power.
Let me challenge you with an idea that's going to blow your mind.
And the 2 words you need to eliminate from your vocabulary today. Plus, the man who lost 400 pounds.
He was 700 pounds at the time of this photo.
How he lost the weight and what he looks like now. All new Oz. That's coming up on Friday.
On today's show, it was Food Truth Wednesday, where we set the record straight on meat. Now I'm going to answer another question about meat. How long will your protein last? And here's what you'll be talking about tomorrow. The wonderful folks at the University of Illinois provided a simple infographic. That's what it looks like. They can help you determine exactly how long your protein will last. So ground meat, as an example, has 1 to 2 days in the fridge, 3 to 4 months in the freezer. How about packaged lunch meat? That's a big one. 3 to 5 days in the fridge. Look at this up to, there's 2 weeks unopened. It's important. You can save it for longer than in the fridge. And 1 to 2 months in the freezer. And fish, my favorite, 1 to 2 days in the fridge, not very long, but 2 to 6 months in the freezer. You can find the entire chart on DrOz.com. Here's what I want you to do. Download this, then put it on your fridge. You can save your family a lot of money, but you'll also keep them safe. And that's why I think these kinds of things make a big difference. You don't want to mistakenly throw away stuff that's really good for you. Remember, happy and healthy starts at home. I'll see you next time.